Sometimes the unimaginable doesn't come with warning. It begins quietly, like a shift in the air you can't quite name. The light feels different. The hum of the world drops out, and something deep inside you pauses. You know change is coming, even if you can't see it. And then, without warning, it slips in between heartbeats, unnoticed at first. It moves in quietly, rearranging everything before you even realize it's there. The world goes quiet in a way that feels wrong. Time slows. Your breath forgets what to do. And inside that stillness, there's a suspended disbelief. As if your body knows something your mind can't accept. We talk a lot about the unexpected in life, the moments that shift your direction, the changes you never saw coming, but somehow managed to meet. Those are the events that ask you to adapt. But the unimaginable, that's different. It doesn't just change what you do. It changes who you are. In this episode, the closing of the unexpected and the beginning of the unimaginable, we're exploring that threshold. The space between what you thought life would be and the life you now have to live with it. The unimaginable isn't always about death, though it often holds it. It can be the loss of identity, the end of a dream, the moment love dissolves, or that quiet realization that something sacred has shifted and there's no going back. It's what happens when truth no longer fits inside your old understanding. And in that first recognition, something deep inside you stirs. You may find yourself standing somewhere ordinary, a kitchen, a parking lot, the middle of the street, sensing that the world looks the same, but feels completely different. You whisper, "This can't be happening." Not in panic, but in disbelief. The body knows before the mind can comprehend. This is the breath before life divides you into before and after. The unexpected changes what you do. The unimaginable changes who you are. You don't plan for the unimaginable. It arrives in silence, in the phone call that changes everything, in the breath you take before hearing the words you never wanted to hear. Your body moves first. The throat tightens. The chest locks. The ground feels foreign beneath your feet. There's no emotional vocabulary yet. No mental framing. Only sensation. Like the hair standing up on the back of your neck as your nervous system goes on alert. The subtle shaking of your hands that weren't there before. The inability to form words. That piercing ache that catches your breath. It's like an inhale without release suspended between what was and the unknown waiting on the other side. That's the moment truth enters your body. A truth you've never met before and never wanted to. Before you can name it as grief or disbelief, your body's already doing the work of survival, because the body holds what the mind cannot. There are no words yet, no thoughts, only darkness. A quiet pull of something familiar collapses inward. And everything you knew before that moment is drawn straight through the black hole. If you've ever found yourself staring at a room that looks exactly the same, yet somehow is unrecognizable, you know that moment. And when you finally exhale, you realize the world has changed. What was familiar, what was normal, is gone. The pieces of before are wiped clean. Only what comes next remains. That's the first breath inside the unimaginable. What's wild is how the unimaginable reorganizes your sense of truth. In the unexpected, truth felt like something we could discover. It was waiting beneath the noise. You could reframe it, pivot, and come out stronger on the other side. But in the unimaginable, truth is what's left after everything else dissolves. When the mind stops searching for meaning, the heart begins to remember. The physical body teaches you presence, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat. The emotional body teaches surrender. You can feel what feels impossible and still remain. The mental body learns humility, that some things can't be fixed, only witnessed. And the spiritual body, it expands. It reaches for something beyond the loss itself. Grief, when allowed to move, becomes a language of its own. It doesn't ask for answers. It asks for capacity. Because grief doesn't shrink with time. Our capacity to hold it grows. You know, people say time heals all wounds. I beg to differ. When that wound is grief through loss, it never truly heals. You simply learn how to live with it. And within that grief, you find gratitude. Gratitude for the time you had. Gratitude for the memories you can still feel in your body. The laughter, the scent, the way love once filled a room. Gratitude for what you learned about yourself through the breaking. For me, I learned this truth young. The unimaginable came to me early in the loss of my son. He was just 6 months old, a moment that forever altered the shape of my truth. I pause here because even now, decades later, that truth still lives in my body. There's something about grief that etches time differently. You remember the smallest details, the weight of the air, the stillness of the room, the silence that follows when everything stops. And with each passing year, the memory softens, but never leaves. It becomes part of how you understand love. And lately, I've felt it rising again, watching my own family shift and change in ways that feel like small rehearsals for goodbye. There are evenings when I catch a glimpse of us around the table, laughter spilling through the room, and I feel time moving, so achingly alive and fleeting that I want to memorize the sound of it. These are the quiet reminders that even joy can hold a touch of grief. These moments remind me that love doesn't end, it transforms. And with each loss and the ever expanding grief that comes with it, our capacity somehow continues to grow, if you allow it. And if you're in that space right now where the unimaginable still feels heavy in your chest, I want you to know you're not broken. You're becoming. There's no right way to heal, no timeline, no perfect path through it. Healing is a remembering, not a race. It's learning to sit beside the ache without rushing it away and trusting that it will one day loosen its grip. Sometimes that looks like reaching for faith, even when you can't name what you believe in. Sometimes it's as small as taking a single breath and calling it enough. Other times it's finding comfort in something ordinary, the morning light, the rhythm of a walk, the sound of laughter that catches you off guard. Those small moments are evidence that life is quietly finding its way back to you. The world continues to move forward, even though yours has stopped. And at some point, you must step back into time and begin to live again. Not as you were, but as who you've become. When you first begin to step back into life, it doesn't feel natural. It feels foreign, like walking through water. The air is heavier. The sounds are sharper. Your body remembers what it's lost. Yet slowly, it starts to recognize safety again. The way the sunlight lands across your face, the hum of the morning noise, the rhythm of your own breath returning without effort. These quiet markers show how the body begins to trust life again. And from that expanded capacity, you begin to find your footing again, holding pain, embracing it even, and letting that acceptance become the bridge to what comes next. From that space of new strength, you start to realize the unimaginable isn't something you survive. It's something you integrate. You stop trying to push it away. You stop trying to fill the void. It becomes part of your truth. And once you embrace it fully into your being, only then can you begin the journey forward. And in that emptiness, you start to sense the quiet guidance of what remains. The body remembering how to trust. The spirit whispering that you're not alone. Healing is not a return. It's a slow, sacred re-entry into yourself. Because sometimes the unimaginable has nothing to do with loss of life. It's the loss of self. It's the end of a dream, a relationship, your health, or the identity that once defined you. It's any moment that rearranges your truth so completely you can never return to who you were before. And loss of self, too, carries its own kind of mourning. The mother learning to let her children fly. The healer who can no longer heal in the same way. The dreamer who outgrew the story that once defined her. Each must meet themselves again in the mirror, softly, without judgment, to ask, who am I now? This is where the unimaginable becomes transformation. You can and will begin again. You might feel the pull of a memory in your chest or the warmth of a familiar laugh returning. I know life will never look or feel the same. But if you carry the truth of that love on your journey forward, it will become the anchor as you step into the now. And in that remembrance, something inside you begins to heal. Love doesn't disappear with form. It changes. It just changes how it moves through you. Whether that's a memory of someone you've lost, the tenderness of a part of you that no longer fits, or gratitude for a season that has ended. You'll see something that reminds you of them or who you once were, and you let that love expand through you in the moment. Like getting a small kiss from heaven or from your own soul reminding you that nothing real is ever gone. Because if we don't talk about what was, remember it, or allow ourselves to feel it in the now, it's like it never existed. Love is not meant to be a moment. Love is meant to be an endless feeling we can tap into at any given time. When you find yourself standing in that stillness between endings and beginnings, remember, stillness isn't emptiness. It's the ground where truth settles and grows roots. It's the space where love reshapes itself into wisdom and where the next version of life starts to breathe. Take that stillness with you. Let it remind you that integration isn't about returning. It's about becoming. This season has been about truth, in stillness, in surrender, in allowing what is. The unimaginable is truth in its purest form. Life without illusion. It's the moment you stop pretending that strength means not feeling. It's the realization that surviving isn't just endurance. It's grace. that every breath you take in the aftermath is a declaration. I am still here. And maybe that's what remains. A willingness to keep listening, to keep rebuilding, even in the quiet. Over the next few episodes, we'll sit with stories from those who've walked through loss, the death of a spouse, the loss of a child, the collapse of what they thought life would be. And we'll explore what it means to rebuild, not from certainty, but from faith in what remains. Maybe the unimaginable isn't meant to be understood. Maybe it's meant to be lived through, so we remember what love actually is. Because what remains after loss is never absence. It's presence in a new form. It's life returning through the cracks. Love finding a new shape. Truth settling quietly where resistance once lived. You are still here. Breathing. Becoming. Learning how to hold both the ache and the awe. You are still here because something inside you refused to give up. The same strength that carried you through the unimaginable is the same light that will lead you forward. There is more life waiting, more love to experience, more truth to uncover. Every ending, even the ones that break us open, create space for a new beginning. Not the life you had before, but a present, more grateful version of the one that's calling you now. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Let yourself linger here for a moment. Feel the breath move in and out of your chest. Allow yourself to pause before the next sentence, to let silence do its work. Let this be your reminder that you've already made it through every moment you thought you couldn't. Close your eyes if you can. Picture yourself standing in a field of light, warm, steady, and alive. Feel that light rise from the ground beneath you, feeling the spaces that once felt empty. That light is your truth. It's your resilience. It's every part of you that said yes to life again, even when it hurt to try. Take a moment to feel what remains. And remember, even the unimaginable can become the foundation to something beautiful. Our shift is ended for today. Until next time, stay curious, stay present, and stay in truth.